Oh, she's bopping.
Come on, man. Come on.
It's a good vibe.
Come on, man. My team is a team song.
Wait till 2021.
Oh, I got it.
Now I know it's official because he bopped to it.
You gotta say Jobber Nation.
I know. Jobber Nation, good evening, good afternoon. We are live here with a very special guest. Before we get into that, we want to just remind everyone about our AEW viewing party this Saturday at Legends. So please come. You can RSVP on Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Gentlemen, before we do jump into our very special guest, is there what's going on?
This is us. Come on.
Okay. So actually, I let our guests introduce themselves because I can't do any justice, I promise. So let the viewers know who you are, and then are you gonna play? Are you playing something?
Before we start,
I'm excited. I feel blessed.
Got the sound.
I wish you could bury the soundboard. That I could do without.
Before our guest introduce herself, I just have to play this.
I have a feeling what he's gonna play.
Turn my ox on, baby. Hold on.
Mamacita.
Man,
You want some
we're gonna bop a little bit. Bop.
She bumped our song. There you go. Get them shoulders. Look at that, yo! I don't know about y'all. I just got chills. Like that is so dope.
I had to. It was only right that I did this.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it when he said, "Hold on." I said, "Oh, okay, this is the route we're going today." So, our lovely guys, please introduce yourself to the Jobber Nation. Those that are viewing.
¿Qué pasó, la raza? Obviously, I feel like with that song playing, like I don't know if I even need to do anything now.
You still you got your own right, girl. Don't do that.
No, what is up, everybody? What is up? It is Shaul Guerrero. I am the daughter of Eddie and Vicky Guerrero, and I wear many hats. For the wrestling community, I'm a professional announcer, backstage interviewer, wrestler.
There you go.
And, you guys may have seen me on AEW, on WoW, Lucha Underground, NXT Season 1. So I've been floating around, but I'm really happy to be with you guys here today. So thanks for having me.
No. Thank you for joining us, taking the time out, because we already know when people come over, like, listen, thank you. Like, you don't have to come. You don't have to do this. So we really appreciate it. And I think, once again, you being a part of such a historical wrestling family for us, like this is an honor for us.
Facts.
So we thank you so much.
So we have one question to ask to get out the way. My brother wanted to ask it. Yo, listen, man. I've been a fan of your dad, and I have to ask, man. Yo, do you claim Dominic Mysterio as your brother? Because technically, storyline. Kayfabe. Eddie is his dad. And, here at the Job of Tears, we say many times, man, Eddie is a better father than Ray because he would have went out there and then we had to do. Just a running gag in the wrestling community. I have to ask you, do you claim Dominic as your brother?
I claim Dominic as, like, how, like, you have that uncle in the family and it's like, yeah, that's Uncle Charlie or whatever. They're not really related. Dominic is, hermano Dominic, we're just like, yeah, what's that? Like, we're all family friends. And honestly, though, in the Latino community, I feel like we got family on family on family on family because we all love each other so much. It's very tight knit. And so Dominic is absolutely a part of the Guerrero family. So but I think by the end of that, I feel like by the end of that, what do you call it? That whole storyline, my dad claimed to be everybody's puppy.
Oh, he did. He did. Yeah, you're right.
Well, before we get into our interview, our show, we typically go around and talk about things that we've been watching or something. So we'll start off with you, my love. What is something you've been watching on TV, whether it's Netflix or anything? What's been going on in TV land for you?
In TV land, God, that's so hard because I feel like, Chicago recently just got shut back down. So I'm like, all right, here we go.
Oh, really?
Here we go. Yeah, we're like, so in real life, I'm a bartender, and my bar got shut down. And so we're kind of back at square one a little bit. But recently, it's been American Horror Story, like jumping seasons, and then The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. That's what I'm watching right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Wilkins, what stuff did you watch this week?
What did I watch this week? I watched. I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite shows.
Do you watch that?
I honestly don't have the emotional capacity to do it. I've tried,
Okay,
and I cry my eyes out. I'm like, this is too intense for a weeknight.
No, it is.
Good for you, babe. Good for you.
We all do. So we all have this thing where it's funny because we're all very different. We have different styles, different things that we watch. But This Is Us is probably the only show all three of us here will watch and talk about religiously. So we were waiting all week to talk about it. And I hate this because you haven't watched it. I don't want to ruin it, but
you can go ahead. It's
but
okay.
Randall's mom is alive, y'all.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I was like, oh my God.
Like, how do you in an episode? Shout outs to the production team. Shout outs to the people that are editing because the edit on that was just amazing. So, like, background. So Randall is the black guy in the show.
Okay.
And he's the one that was adopted from the family.
I remember that. Like, they covered that in the first episode.
Right. So basically, he was found at the fire station, blah, 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 blah. They fast forward to now this season because they're actually incorporating like coronavirus and all the riots, things like that. So they're actually incorporating real life things into the show, which is really cool. But the ending of the first episode of the new season was so Randall's mom, they thought we all thought she was dead. Like, OD, she started breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Dun.
Exactly. And then other than that, I actually finished Posh.
Oh, I didn't even watch that.
Oh, please watch it.
Okay.
Oh, Pose. Sorry.
I know what you were talking about though.
Thank you, girl.
No, it starts with a P and it's on Netflix. Yes.
Yes. 2 seasons. No, but it is.
It's really good.
It is really good.
Okay.
So I was dating this girl, for a while, and we're no longer together. We're actually good friends now. And I had went over her house, and she was watching it, and I was like, "Yo, this show is amazing." And instead of us, doing adult activities, I just sat there and watched Pose with her for the next like 3 hours until I passed out. I was like, "This is good."
No, it's an hour. Every episode's an hour long, so I stayed up. I think Sunday. I think so. Like almost 2 a.m. to finish the second season. Because I was like, I'm already knee deep, but I highly recommend it. Mr. Black, real quick, what's something you watch?
Did anybody hear a clicking sound?
No.
I don't know if you have a clicking sound.
I kind of hear it a little bit.
I don't know if is it somebody's? It's not us, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. We'll go.
What's clicking around me? I have my fan on. Maybe that, but it's silent over here.
Okay. All right. We'll forget it.
All right, Mr. Black, real quick, what is something you've been watching?
Dang, what did I finish? I started that Zeus. I mean that Zeus thing on Netflix.
Oh,
talking to the man.
Me and Mikey started watching that.
The animation is crazy. It's only for adults. The bloodiness. Oh my! Do you watch the anime or any animation, Shaul?
Honestly, like the anime I'm used to is like the like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away, like that kind of stuff, more on the Disney aspect. But like I was actually talking to my husband the other night, like we need to start watching anime. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, but right now I'm a little obsessed with Supermarket Sweep. So every time I'm like,
classic.
Okay, but my issue is that I can't stand the host. Like I don't think she's funny at all.
You don't like Leslie Jones?
Haters gonna hate.
So it's not
haters are gonna hate.
It's because like I grew up watching Supermarket Sweep. So like for me, like I was expecting the old host, and he's amazing. And then she just is too much sometimes. It's like, oh my God, girl, can they just run and find this item, please? But I was hyped when Supermarket Sweep came back on. That's a classic. Like old ones are on Amazon Prime if you did not know. So
it's on Netflix too.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
But all right, let's jump into this. You said you had many hats in wrestling, so just dive in. I mean, we all know the basic stuff that you are the daughter of the late great Eddie Guerrero and Vicky Guerrero. So, how was it growing up in a wrestling family like that? I feel like alone is intense And like I feel like Thanksgiving or like holidays, you guys are all probably backyard wrestling and fighting each other and stuff like that. So how was it? What was your experience in growing up in a wrestling family?
Oh, it's like it's obviously like a blessing and a curse. I've always said that about being a Guerrero, and also just like in the wrestling family, especially the fact that we've had so many generations in this business. It was definitely colorful. Like every single brother, and like obviously like now the women are getting into it, and like every Guerrero is like over the top in their own special way. And so family get-togethers were intense. They were really fun, but they were also like, we love hard, we fight hard. But I mean, there's good and bad. My dad's struggles in life were he was very open about all of that. So there was a lot of it was hard as a kid growing up, just because alcohol and drug abuse is a family disease, and so everybody suffers and everybody kind of takes fun little habits from that, and so it was intense, but it was also such a blessing because it introduced me to the world of wrestling, where I've been just like received with open arms, especially after a 6-year hiatus. Like the reception I've been getting from the fans is really overwhelming and really encouraging. So I'm happy that I'm in this family, but it's also like it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot.
It has to be like, even when with Mr. Black brought up Dominic, and just probably him like now being in the business and being on TV, and even his daughter. Like I just feel like one thing we kind of sometimes take for granted is like how wrestling families just really interact with each other. Like you have the Guerreros, you have the the Harts, you have the McMahons, you have all these wrestling families that came into the business. It was almost like did you steer away from it at first? Like, was it like, what was the day you decided okay, I'm gonna start training?
So it was actually like first, like I never thought growing up like, oh yeah, I can do that, because I just always saw the women in the locker room. They were just like beyond gorgeous, beyond strong. Like really, I looked up to those women so much, and I just never thought I was good enough to do that. So when WWE came to me and offered me a tryout, I was like terrified, but I was also like, what do I got to lose? I was 19, like, let's do it. And so honestly, it wasn't until I finished my tryout, which is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in life, that I was like, okay, let's do this. And yeah, I mean, the rest is history from there.
What did you do during the tryout?
Woo!
if you can go behind that curtain.
That's fine. No, that's absolutely fine. I'm sure they look different nowadays. But when I was there, first thing was like, it's funny because if you guys watch the FCW documentary on WWE Network,
loved it.
Great. I was popping so hard that entire documentary. But it really was like unsuspecting, because I was like, WWE, the biggest like wrestling mecca in the world, and we pull up to this little building and you're like, okay, am I gonna get murdered or am I gonna wrestle? I don't know. But the first day we took bumps, just bump, learning how to run the ropes, doing all of that. Cried my first night after I got to the hotel because my body was so hurt. The next day you cut your first promo in front of everybody, which was a different kind of, I don't know, just different. And then the final day, I believe we did like paperwork, we bumped more, and then they were like, okay, we'll let you know. So yeah, that was pretty much
in and out.
They just wanted to make sure that you can hang, pretty much.
So speaking of your time at FCW, I remember during the time when you was, if I'm correct, it was the Diva Championship during the time, right?
Yes.
And I remember when you used to beat your opponents, you used to put the L on their forehead. How you came up with that idea?
So that was actually WWE Creative. I will they came up to me about the whole Ultra Diva gimmick. I was kind of like on that path because like during FCW, I think Dusty Rhodes really like allowed me to grow and kind of just see where what I wanted to do and whatnot. And it just ended up growing into more extra. And then eventually they're like, yeah, we want you to be like the Lady Gaga of WWE. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So that's how it kind of all came.
Let's give a round of applause for Dusty.
Yes.
So much.
Absolutely. I miss him all the time.
So wow, WWE creative. That's an interesting take for them. I guess in a sense, you had experiences working with Dusty. You mentioned, and you did some stuff for AEW. You see some similarities between Dusty and Cody and how they handle business.
Good question, Janelle.
I mean, like, I will say this first and foremost, like, the Rhodes family has always, like, met the Guerrero family with kindness, with open arms and honesty. And so, like, I always tell this story. My mom told me this story was, like, the first time she ever did a promo for WWE after my dad passed, like, Dusty was like, baby girl, that sucked. We're going to work on it. And, like, but it was, like, with kindness, and it was like, and he helped her, and then she put in just so much time and effort to get to where she became like Vicky Guerrero,
right?
And so with like Cody met me the same way at AEW, with kindness, with honesty, and honestly, they're a really great family. I feel extremely blessed, especially Dustin. Dustin was more of who I worked with on a regular basis at AEW, because I actually got to train with the girls in the ring, which was mind blown. But no, I love that family with all my heart, and so like how they do business, I applaud it.
We here at the Java Tears podcast are a huge fan of Vicky, your mother. Oh man. Yo, I have to ask this.
Oh boy.
Does she make fire empanadas?
Does she what? I'm sorry.
Make some good empanadas, fire empanadas.
Oh man, you know what? My mom makes the best like frijoles, which is the base of all Mexican food. Yes. And like she makes good Mexican food. We don't do empanadas that often. Normally, if we're like really gunning for something, it's tamales.
Yeah, because we're huge fans of her. I think she is one of the best things going in the women's division at AEW.
Yo, her promo work. Oh my god. Yo, listen. I have a huge crush on your mom. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, like I think your mom is gorgeous.
Literally. So what? We've been doing our podcast for almost now 3 years, going on 3 years. Literally, the first year, I felt like they spoke nothing but your mom. Legit. Literally, it didn't even have to do anything with wrestling. It was just like he was just like, I bet she could make some good empanadas, and I'm like, I don't know that.
We just feel she's a good woman.
Yes,
high quality woman.
High quality.
It's a high quality woman. I concur.
So, when you entered the wrestling business, what did your mom say about that then?
Wow, she laughed.
Was she surprised? Was she saying no? Like, what was your mom's reaction?
My mom, first and foremost, has always been my number one fan and has always been extremely supportive. I've been very blessed with that. But when I did say like, hey, I want to try this out, she was like, are you sure? Just because it's such a hard business. My dad had the same reaction, because I did talk to him when I was 15 years old, the year he died, like, I want to do this, like, really seriously, like, let me wrestle kind of thing. And they're like, are you sure? But like, once I told them like how serious I was, they're like, absolutely, we're gonna help you out with whatever you need. The one rule both of them had, was do not marry a wrestler. And
girl, you messed up.
Well, how did that happen?
Yes.
Right. Like,
how was
it's
your reaction?
so funny.
Well, because like we've all been there. Like they got one rule, we gotta break it. Rule.
So how did that happen though? How did you guys end up like? Well, you guys are married now, but how did you guys end up like getting together? And were you like at first, when I'm assuming he kind of came to you and you're like, no, I'm not doing this? Was it like that, or was it like it was just,
like, was he intimidated by the fact that he was going up to Eddie Guerrero's daughter? Like, I just feel like that alone, like he was gonna be like, I will
unpack all of it. I will unpack that whole thing. So the first couple of years that I was with WWE, I was actually dating somebody else, and so like I never had that issue. I'm a very loyal partner when I am with somebody, so it was never an issue.
Hold on. No, round of applause for that.
You gotta be.
Oh,
round of applause.
How you gotta be.
Thank you. But when I came back, when it was like NXT's established, Performance Center kind of thing. Matt was always just, or Aiden English, as you guys know him more, he was always just extremely kind, like all of the time. And I remember the first time I saw him, the second time around, I was like, oh, Aiden English beefed up.
My man went to the gym.
He was like super handsome and confident. I think that was the thing. That was the big difference between like FCW and like NXT was like he just got super confident and knew who he was and knew where he was at. So that obviously attracted me.
Oh, and he's talented.
Hella talented. You know, speaking of your husband, Aiden English, how was it managing Rusev for a little bit?
Honestly, like when I managed Rusev, like it was super quick, and Miro is so funny. Like he's one of the funniest guys like on the roster, and so like it was always a joy working with him. And my husband really enjoyed it too. Like they took it as far as they could. Like I really wish the company, I think he shares the sentiment, would have like done better toward the end of the run kind of thing, because they could have done so much more. But he always really enjoyed his time with Rusev. Absolutely.
Because he's the reason for Happy Rusev Day. Like that, I will always.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like Aiden English is the reason why Happy Rusev Day pop.
Son.
Hands down. Like no one can change my mind about that. Like literally, he's like, but it's the truth. Like anyone that says different, they're just they're not fans. They don't really listen, because literally it wouldn't have popped the way unless Aiden sung it and then presented it the way that he did. So it was like, so kudos to him for that, because that definitely was something that even now, like even though you know both aren't in the company, like he's not in the company anymore, like Rusev, but it's something that as a fan, that will always carry with both of them for like ever. Like it's definitely those indelible mark things for them. So that I always think that was always my opinion. I was like,
I appreciate that, because like I think that of course like that's a really like I think it's a fun thing for people to know. Like yeah, Matt actually came up with that, but it was like that in addition to like Matt and Miro finally getting to have fun. Like just letting them have fun, and then that's I think those things in combination really got people behind what they were doing, because I think just like how it happened with New Day, like we saw New Day having fun, like they were just enjoying it, they were going with it, they were going with the creativity, and like when the company and the wrestlers are like in sync like that, I think that's when actual magic happens. And it's like yeah, let's just let him do what he's gonna do. And yeah, unfortunately that doesn't happen as often as I think we would like, because I think they're micromanaged a little bit too much, but it was really cool while it lasted with Rusev Day.
It was a very good run.
Like, I think it was a very good run. And let me ask you a question. How was it? I know that you managed the original Ascension. How was that? And what caused y'all to separate? Because y'all was pretty good.
Thank you. We really enjoyed it. We had so much fun. We worked with Dusty a lot on it. And honestly, how did it happen? Honestly, I just got plugged in because like they were starting to form a little group, and then like I was happy that I was the female counterpart on it. And I don't know, man, like we were really immersed in it and like had such a good time. We loved the vignettes we got to shoot with Dusty. The reason why we broke up, I honestly think it was because once Epico had to go up to the main roster, which is always like, yes, like whenever one of us got brought up, we would like really get behind them and be super supportive. I think like the dynamic kind of got off a little bit. And then like, I think Connor and Rick could have like kept going with that same fire and intensity. But like, I think WWE just had different plans for them, because they kind of ended up coming out with a new gimmick once they got up on the roster. Or I think WWE was kind of trying to tweak it, and it wasn't the same anymore.
You speak of all these changes of you coming into the business. You like FCW was like crazy hard. It was like you cried the day before. Can you go into a little bit deeper of like the struggles of like trying to find your character and trying to find yourself within a company that, like you said, kind of micromanages a little bit. So you kind of got to find yourself, but then you also got to approve of it. Like, how was that?
Honestly, like it was really hard. That's a great question. At first, I feel like when I first got there, like within the span of a couple weeks, and I understood like you can't have the Guerrero name right now, you have to earn it. I was like, ooh, okay, like I was expecting that, because I always knew like as a Guerrero, as a baseline, you're always proving yourself. It's always high stakes. It's always like you need to be the best all the time. And so I feel like I knew that from my family, but like I didn't realize like with WWE that was going to be, it was just kind of laid out for me like that. And so I think I got intimidated and I shied back from like doing my dad's gimmick or doing like kind of that kind of thing. And so I just kind of went the opposite direction, and I didn't know who I was for a while. I really didn't. The Ultra Diva gimmick was like, I was good at it. I was good at being a heel, and it just kind of happened. Yeah. Honestly, it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more outrageous. And that's how it kind of happened. But the gimmick I'm coming back with on the independent scene, it's night and day, honestly. Like Raquel Diaz, I kind of buried her in my backyard and she's just going to stay there.
So can you tell us more about that gimmick, about your independent gimmick?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not really a gimmick at all. Honestly, I'm me. I am me. I am like fully embracing that I am a Guerrero. I am using my name. I'm going to wear my dad's flames. I don't care how many other people have it. Like I am doing me. I am doing like what I've always wanted to represent my family as and myself. And so I'm not going to like lie and say like I'm a luchador. That's not how I wrestle. I'm a ground and pound kind of girl. I will lie and cheat and steal as appropriate, but I'm just gonna be me. I'm a rocker girl, and like I'm a Guerrero. That's like enough said. Guerreros do it better.
So
bars.
So you went through the struggle, you left, and then you come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why leave and then come back?
So I love to clear this up because people are like, oh, you just left, or like I just gave it up kind of thing. And sorry, that's my cat.
No, your cat
is moving around.
Oh, I peeped that. It just jumped.
He just did like a 450 splash behind you. And it was the funniest. Like, whoa.
Yes.
What's the kitty's name?
This is Thackeray Binks. Original, I know, but like from Hocus Pocus. But to answer your question, so the first time I left, I think the last thing I did on NXT season 1, I bombarded Tamina. She won a match and I like came out and like did something crappy to her, did the L on her forehead. And I was about to like have a program with Tamina, which is huge. And then the people at the gym, people call him Rob, that we trained with, as well as my family, had a heart-to-heart with me that I wasn't okay. I was really deep in my eating disorder. I was not well. I was not in a good mental health place. And so they told me like that they were going to put me in rehab and I needed to go the next day. And like, of course they gave me a chance. I agreed to get help. Joey Mercury was one of the people that really helped me out because he saw I wasn't doing well.
Shout out to Mercury, man. Shout out to him.
He's an amazing worker, and he's been like a father figure to me in the wrestling industry. So I'm very blessed to have Joey. And so, yeah, I was in inpatient treatment for 3 months, and I couldn't see how I could, at the time, keep my mental health and go back in an industry that it was very different times when I was there. There was like, before the evolution of women's wrestling and like there wasn't many women that were in between size in WWE. You were either a model or you were a monster. And it was like those two things. And I didn't see how I could keep my mental health intact. So that was why I decided to take a break and see what else I could do with performing that would allow me to still keep my mental health intact.
So what advice would you give to people out there who's dealing with a eating disorder?
Okay, so it's a bitch. I like
that's some oddest shit.
It's a bitch. It really is, because it's and I'm saying every person that has an addiction, like it's a struggle. Absolutely. I think for me, it was always hard because you got to eat 3 times a day. It's not like you can stop eating, or it's not like you can just learn how to eat. I had to relearn how to eat and how to know when I'm full. Am I emotionally eating? It was really difficult. Like, and even then, like after I got out of inpatient treatment, I didn't know how to handle like just eating as a person and being okay with my emotions without acting out. So it took like I think a couple of years before I got the hang of it. But honestly, keep going. You are not alone, and just know like it does get better. It feels like you're like you will never smile again. You will never feel okay again. You'll never feel whole again, but you will. You will. And there's a way for you to handle this. It's just we got to find the right medicine for you. That's all.
So when did you decide that you wanted to get back? Like, you know, you popping on the AEW was really dope because I was for the women's tournament, which I was like, okay, she's coming back. So when did you kind of make that decision to come back into the business? Because, you know, I think first and foremost, it takes a lot of courage to actually tell your story and to go through what you went through. But when did you make that decision in order to still find a balance to protect your, you know, your mental state, but then also do what you really want to do?
Absolutely. Cause like I did leave and then I came back to the performance center when I felt like I was better after a year. And I was there for like a couple like months and whatnot, and my neck wasn't holding up. I've had to deal with the eating disorder and a lot of neck issues in wrestling.
Wow.
So like that was like and that was when I was dating Matt. And when Matt was telling me like, I am concerned for you. Like, I'm concerned you're going to be able to play with our kids in the future. I'm concerned like that you're going to be able to like do what you love to do, like dance, like because your neck is so messed up. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to like WWE and me parted ways. But it wasn't until like when I was announcing for WoW, I was, you know, you see the girls like they're in there and I don't know. It's hard. I can't stay on the sidelines. I can't. As a Guerrero, like I can't like when like the girls would kind of play with me in the ring and kind of step up to the announcer, I was like, ooh, like I can't just be here. Like I can't. Like it's just there's more I can offer the business, but it wasn't until AEW I kept going back for the women's tournament. I kept going back to train and I was like, yeah, damn, I gotta do this. There's so much more I can offer this business. And if I do it my way, and if I'm really careful with my body and I don't take like, it's just a matter of like trying to, how do I say this? I have to be careful. Like I only train a certain amount of times a week because like, I have a bump card and mine's small. So it's just like, it's a big balancing act, but AEW really lit the fire under my ass.
Can you explain the bump card for people who don't know?
Yes, a bump card. Every wrestler has a different bump card. So that's how many falls you take. Anytime you see a wrestler smack their back against the mat, that is a bump. So my husband has a very high bump.
Who's behind,
right behind you? Speaking of the devil.
He's trying to hide, but he doesn't have to hide.
This is my life. That's the love of my life. Good. Get the thing.
Run it out. He was trapped.
Well, I'm sorry.
Imprisoned.
I'm bye.
It's so funny because last week we had 2 weeks ago we interviewed Renee Michelle.
Oh my god!
And she told us a story about how like they got married and how they met, and then he comes in so you can hear him in the background. So it's so funny. The last 2 interviews we had, we've always had interruptions from their spouses.
Well, that is like
natural
right now, so we're like stuck together in a 2-bedroom apartment. So yeah, there's a lot of interceptions that happen. But to finish my thought, basically like my husband has like a really high bump card. He's been able to wrestle for years, never has had a surgery. Like he's in good shape still. He's like rickety and he feels it, but like he's still okay. Me, my bump card was running out like on year 3 of FCW. So like it was just my neck can't handle as much stuff. So I just got to be really selective when I take the big bumps, and I have to be really careful like how much I bump a week. And do I have a show that week? I might, balance it a little bit better.
You said, where do you guys train in Chicago?
We do.
Oh, where?
So my husband, he doesn't need to train. He's had many years of experience that I don't. But I train at Freelance Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely so it's so funny. I'm in this odd Chicago wrestling group on Facebook, but it's because I have a few friends that live out in Chicago, and I've always wanted to go. But it was a goal this year of mine to go there and go see an indie show. That they always talk so big about Freelance because I think Kylie Ray was wrestling for Freelance before she had got signed to Impact, but I've heard so many good things about Freelance, so that's pretty cool to hear that you trained there.
I feel very blessed. The wrestling community here in Chicago is wonderful, and Kylie Rae is like the golden child of Chicago. Besides, like obviously we have CM Punk, but like Kylie Rae has been most recently. Like,
have you bumped into CM Punk like at Whole Foods yet, or?
Oh my god, no! Like him and April are like incognito, man. I've never seen them, and so I've always wondered, I'm like, should I hit them up? Because like Punk and Dad were really good friends. Like we would hang out with them all the time. And like, I would hang out with him when me and Joey were like in the same state. And so, yeah, I don't know. I should hit him up. But like, yeah, they like lay low.
Yeah, no, I had heard about it. It's so funny. So I went to Chicago for this was 2019 was a year for me. So I went to Chicago for literally 24 hours. I went to War Games. I went to NXT War Games at Allstate because that was always a goal of mine to go see War Games. So I literally fly in from New York that morning, and also Undertaker had a meet and greet. So I went to go meet Taker. So that was really why I went to Chicago. But I get in the airport at O'Hare, and my friend is picking me up. But I went to grab my bag, and then literally CM Punk is walking one way and we're walking this way, and I literally just feel like, so CM Punk just walked past me in the airport and we locked eyes. she's like, I live here and I can't even see him. She said my other friend saw him at Whole Foods randomly. I said, well, you know. So I just had to ask. I was like, do you like how many other like I guess like wrestlers like live in the Chicago area? Like how many of you guys like connect or do things out there?
Honestly, like it's all through training. I feel like I learned more about like the different shows here in Chicago through training, and like I've known about Zello Pro for a while because we've been in talks about like me trying to like announce for them, and then now I'm gonna wrestle for them. So like we've always talked a little bit, but like freelance, I'm new to it because I've only started training again for wrestling this year. So I'm new to the community, but they welcome me with open arms, and I work with amazing trainers, and so I feel very blessed. So Bryce Benjamin's awesome. I've gotten to work with Misa Kate and Kylie Rae and Isaiah. Oh my gosh, his last name is like escaping me right now, but who also makes my gear as well. So it's been a great community.
Oh, you mentioned new gear. Like, how do you go through the process of like? That was a good segue. How do you go through the process of actually creating your gear? And then, what this time around, you said you wanted it to have a Guerrero taste to it, a Guerrero flair to it. What made you now? Like, what design? Like, what inspired you to do that?
So, gear has always been like my favorite part of wrestling. I love gear and character work and like your song choice, your entrance, and like the little things when you're in the ring, like how are you your character. That's why oh my god, I'm like such a hoe for Bray Wyatt and like for Alexa. Like I love like in-depth gimmicks, and so I've always made my gear, like I've always designed it and had somebody execute it. And Isaiah wears that gear. If you guys want to know who he is, he handles a lot of our gear here in Chicago. I just knew like I wanted to incorporate my rocker kind of side, and I wanted my dad's flames in there. And honestly, I just sketched it, and he was like, "Yeah, we can do that." So there's going to be a lot of cool Easter eggs on my gear that I'm probably going to do like some kind of Instagram live or YouTube video about, because I actually have my dad's gear incorporated into it. Like his
actual gear.
Mm-hmm.
That's
amazing. So we cut. I didn't destroy his gear. I only have 2 pairs, and they're very special to me, of his tights. But I like cut a little bit off of the ankle, where like his boots would cover, and I have a little heart on my gear that's like his. So he'll be with me in the ring.
Wow, that's
sweet.
It's bad emotional for no reason.
Right. Thanks, son.
Like I was like, damn.
I gotta have it.
But right, like I felt teary-eyed just now.
Yeah,
but,
oh damn.
But you're back and you're about to like start the journey again, basically. Yes. What are some of the goals that you have in this new journey? And once again, thank you for sharing like your trials and tribulations, because it means a lot to us.
Yeah,
what you went through is not easy, and you really are a Guerrero, because you came from the bottom, came right back up.
Yeah. I dust myself off, said, fuck all this. I'm out.
But
what is some of the goals? Like giving me a platform. This means the world. Thank you.
Nah. This means the world for us being for you being with us. But like, because I personally am a huge Eddie fan. Like, I think I spent the last 2 weeks watching his stuff. No, last month. I was been watching his stuff, and I was like, yo, I think he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but I'm more of a promo guy myself. I enjoy quality mic work. I can't stand CM Punk, but I love his mic work.
I feel you. I love a good promo.
I do too. Especially your dad. Like, and I feel like he doesn't get as much credit for his WCW days.
Oh man,
the stuff he did
with LWO,
Woo! And what he did when he was like in the cruiserweight, like with him, and like Jericho and Dean Malenko, all of them, like. The stuff Eddie would say, he could just say like 2 words, and you were just like, "Holy shit!" Like he just said something. Like, yeah, I feel like your dad doesn't get as much credit for the WCW work he does, but I just had to put that out there because I was that to me. Like I've always loved the cruiserweight division in WCW, and I feel like there would be no cruiserweight if there wasn't a Jericho, if there wasn't an Eddie, if there wasn't a Dean. If there wasn't a moving to, like, if it wasn't, if it wasn't for those guys that built that division, like, we wouldn't have. Ultimo. Well, Ultimo is just a whole different level. Yeah. But anyway, back to your question. Sorry.
But favorite Eddie promo for me is his promo with The Rock.
Oh God.
So the reason why I enjoyed it is because he talked about his family loving The Rock, and I was like, damn. I understand where you're coming from on this. Like, your family loves this guy, but they don't love you. And it was such a good pro. But moving forward is, I know you want to create your own legacy. Like, your dad's legacy is your dad's legacy, but you want to create your own. And what are you trying to do? What are the goals now that you're back in the business and that you're trying to build something?
So basically what I'm trying to do, it's going to sound super vague, but I'll explain why it sounds like this. I want to have fun. Okay. This business, I will forever be thankful to WWE. They have always been in my life, literally from like 5 years old to like recently when my husband got let go. We have always been connected in some kind of way. My time with them, I learned a lot. I grew up, but I believe with the environment and how much pressure I put on myself, how much pressure was put on everybody, I think I wasn't having fun anymore. And this business, it's ridiculous because we should be having fun. I'm sorry. We're running around in sparkly gear, getting to play fight our friends. It should be freaking fun. Okay.
Bars.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I want to have fun. And I think I've noticed, like, when I'm in a good place mentally, when I'm not trying to starve myself and trying to look like some ideal version of whoever decided what beauty was, and I'm just wrestling, having fun with my friends, I perform so much better. And so I'm looking to just like have fun. I'm looking to like feel good in the ring. I'm looking to just, I want to wrestle everyone. I want to just get good. I know I have a good promo, and thank you, Dusty, like, because he helped me so much, and so did many other people. But like, I feel like I never really got to excel as a wrestler because I know I'm not naturally athletic. I'm a dancer. Like, that's more of my wheelhouse.
What kind of dance?
I'm sorry?
What kind of dance?
So I'm actually a professional dancer with a group of people here in Chicago called the Vaudettes. We were actually on Jericho Cruise. We performed on Jericho Cruise.
Oh, wow.
We'll go again next year.
Wow.
But it's like rock and roll, like burlesque meets hip hop meets, I don't know. We just have a style. It's just kind of hardcore,
okay.
Rock and roll, sexy. But like, I just never got to excel in the ring because I feel like I was so into how my body was looking and sucking in my stomach while I was in the ring, and I couldn't get wind, and I was trying to just make sure I looked okay, rather than like really focus on the work. And I think that's just, I'm not going to get into the weeds of eating disorders, but like when you're in an eating disorder, you feel like your skin's crawling because you're so unhappy with how you look, and you kind of hate yourself. And I feel like I was so focused on that I wasn't focusing on the ring work. And so I'm really excited to just like see what I really got in this business and take care of myself.
So. You know what's crazy? I don't know if it was said in Daniel Bryan's book or William Regal's book. He said either one of them said, you have fun in the independent scene, do what you want to do all your cool stuff, get titles. And when you go to WWE, it's a job. Your job is whatever they tell you to do. And it kind. I don't know if I'm saying it the right way. Is that kind of what you kind of saying? Like, it's not a bad place, but you go there to do a job.
Yes. And honestly, I think there's a very certain disposition that you need to have to work for WWE. And I don't think I'm alone in saying like it's different than what people expect. Like, because it's the dream job. It is the pinnacle. Like, you have arrived. It's very different there. And so I just I want to do this my way. So, and I want to get as many titles as I can and make as many friends as I can and just have fun. So I want to travel the world and I want to wrestle. So that's all I want to do.
Random question: how Aiden doing?
Yeah. How you doing since everything?
You guys are awesome. I'm okay. How are we all doing?
Y'all forgot about the person we interviewed. She's like, actually, forget all this.
No, we're talking to her.
We're talking to her. Like,
but he just, I just wanted to know how he was doing too. Like,
how's your household?
Like, it's a better question. Okay, fine. Let's rewind. How's the home? Like, yes. Literally, you guys. And the reason why I'm asking is because you went through you were going through a pandemic. You had whatever you were going through, the furlough layoffs that's happening, and you coming back to wrestling. Like, how does Mitchell stay in the crib when it's like two of y'all just stuck together?
So it's been like I feel blessed because like Matt didn't lose his place in WWE until like kind of halfway through like deep pandemic. So we were okay and we've been saving, so we're okay. It was a mental toll because it was like pre-pandemic I was living fully as a professional dancer. Like, I was like making my money as a professional dancer, which I never thought I could do in my life, which was like the biggest blessing. And then everything stopped. Oh yeah. And so it was a little bit like, and then Matt lost a job. It was like, okay. And then like I feel like empathy for like everyone is suffering and like so much stuff that's been happening for years, as we all know, has like just finally had like an appropriate like spotlight. But it's been so hard on all of us. We've all like had it's been hard emotionally. We're okay. We are healthy. We have not had Corona. So like we're doing okay.
All trying to stay Corona free, girl. Don't worry.
We're trying. We're all trying, right? And so like, no, we're good. I got floofs everywhere. I have a lot of floofs. I have 4 cats and a dog, so they fill the space a lot, and we're just trying to love each other. Believe me, we've wanted to wring each other's necks, but that's why we go on Twitch and we play video games against each other.
Ooh, what games y'all playing?
You don't open up Pandora's box. Okay.
Done messed up.
Usually we play Fall Guys a lot. We play Nidhogg. We play all kinds. We play like Mario Kart. We play like a lot of like team games kind of thing. We do that. But my husband does like different games. I play Animal Crossing. I'm really low key.
I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing since the Nintendo GameCube. Oh my God. I haven't played it in a while because I don't have a Switch. Animal Crossing has a soft spot in my heart because the music. Mr. Rossetti.
So cute.
Yo, facts.
Animal Crossing is therapy.
Yo, it is.
It's low-key therapy because of what our brother just said. The music, the pace of it is like very like chill.
Yeah.
Like it's super chill.
Do y'all want to tell me what this game is?
Animal Crossing. We'll tell you later.
Okay.
But
we all gotta get each other's friend codes because
I think I'm gonna have to get a Switch, bro.
I gotta get a Switch.
I get a Switch,
babe, and then we'll get it. We'll all play. I got you all.
Do you want to like? I know you have to go because you got to go stream. You want to drop your Twitch name and everything for the people who don't know in case?
Yes, of course. I'm like I could talk to you guys like the rest of the day.
I mean, we could, but I don't know if you want to go yet.
Again.
I don't know.
If next time you come to New York, you know.
Aren't you coming to New York? When are you coming to New York again?
So it was actually
you were just here.
I was just in New York last weekend. I have some time. We're okay. Because my husband's on stream, so like I was trying to work with him, and it was just like, forget it, it's fine.
Oh, okay, so we good.
I was supposed to take my punishment today because me and him do Marriage Melee, where we play games against each other, and I lost, and so I have to do the ice bucket challenge today.
Oh.
But we rescheduled it to tomorrow, so now I don't have to leave as quickly.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Damn. Like, that still sucks though. She got to do the ice bucket challenge.
In Chicago in November.
In Chicago, right?
Listen.
But you guys had warm weather not like a few weeks ago or something. Like, I remember my homegirl telling me it was like 60, 70 degrees the other day. I was
Like New York out there.
Right now it's nice actually. Right now we have a weird it's like 60s right now. So
it's like that here.
Yeah, just like in New York.
Like yesterday and today, it's super nice. It was like you felt like it was spring. It was weird.
It's so weird
because Monday, Tuesday was cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were the low here was like maybe 30 degrees at night. So we were freezing here. And then yesterday and today is nice. So it's weird.
So I'm gonna ask a corny question.
No questions, corny. You guys just talked about Animal Crossing.
That's not corny.
It's not, but I just felt like that level of.
Don't be a hater.
I'm not. How can I hate on something I don't know?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So the corny question is,
thank you.
It seems like you're into music.
Yes.
What is currently on the playlist? Your everyday playlist right now. Give me like 6 or 5. I don't know.
Okay, like I'll give you my favorite bands right now because like that Vaudettes group that I told you about, they allow me to choreograph for them a lot, and so like I'm always like I can't just listen to music. I'm like choreographing. I'm like, ooh, is this a banger? Can I choreograph to this? Oh, but usually it's a lot of rock. I listen to In This Moment, The Pretty Reckless. Oh my God, Hailstorm. Obviously I love bands fronted by women, so like those are all fronted by women. But then on the other hand, I mean, oh my God, I love all music. I pretty much like have a hard line at bluegrass. I'm like, I'm good, but like
a lot of people do. Other than
that, I can vibe out to pretty much anything, but usually it's rock for me. Avatar, I love Avatar, and Pantera, stuff like that.
Nah, I like it. I like it. But you know what's funny? You said that you're not really that athletic, but you're a dancer. You're a dancer.
Y'all, when we were getting ready for Jericho Cruise, I've been in the best shape of my life when we were doing that because we have an hour set and it's like nonstop. There's only 5 dancers on stage the whole time. And so it's like, go, go, go. And then you're on a boat. It's hard to dance on a boat.
but also the thing about wrestling and dancing, how they kind of go with each other, it's patterns.
Yes.
So you're a beast already.
Like,
in the nicest way possible.
Because the feet work is crazy.
Because your footwork is going to be on point.
I guess I say that because I guess first of all I should have more confidence in myself. You're
absolutely.
Right.
I mean, we're gonna big you up regardless, so don't even worry.
I just speak more positively to myself. So you are absolutely right. I think when I go into training, there are a big handful of wrestlers here in Chicago that, bless them, they can flip and fly and do all of the things, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. And that's just because I'm weird. Like I'm also an aerial artist as well, and like I've done aerial arts, and like I'm fine doing that, but like I'm really weird about like doing crazy flips and whatnot. It's the timing. The timing is so difficult with lucha stuff because it's not the actual thing you're doing, it's the timing to get everything right with the other person.
But you know how to tell a story in the ring.
I'm trying. That's the whole goal.
You said it already. You said that you are big on the entrances, the gimmicks, what the person is wearing. That's the most important part, like telling the story within the ring. And I think maybe you being who you are, and you're talking about it so much of like, hey, I just want to have fun and then wrestle. It's you are literally doing what you're supposed to be doing because you're going to be different from everybody else because everybody's going to be doing flips. And you're going to be on the ground, putting somebody in the chokehold, being a heel, and then telling a story and giving awesome heat. And then you're going to do your cutoff and then do their comeback.
I love how amped you are right now. I love it. No, but that's exactly
the heels are the backbone of the business.
Oh, I always love me a good heel. Trust me.
More freedom.
Listen, a heel can definitely, I feel like, tell a bigger story than a face.
Come on.
So I'm very big on like if there's a match, there has to be a distinct heel and face because for me, that is the way that the story is going to be told in a fluid way. Where I feel like you got 2 heels, it's like, okay, I'm confused. Who am I rooting for? Who am I? Am I cheering? Am I rooting? Like, what am I? I'm confused. I have a question. You and your dad won the title against Brock Lesnar. How was it post-match? Like, how was your household?
Yeah.
When your dad came home with a big shiny ass belt for the first time, how was that?
Honestly, we were like, of course, we were so proud of him. And like the phone call between my mom and my dad after the match was like hella emotional. And my sister and I would hate watching wrestling matches with my mom because my mom, like, oh my God, like any bump, she would go, like any bump, and we'd be like, God damn it. Like we like just
the anxiety's at
fine. He's fine. We haven't seen this yet. Yeah. We're good. But like it was obviously, I feel like it's more emotional for me now as an adult in the business because I understand so much more of like what he had to do, how much he had to fight, how much he like those opportunities were not just given to him. And because like he was a smaller guy, which was out of style at the time when we all wanted Hulk Hogan, you know, he was like a person of color. He was all of these things and he had to fight against all of these things. And so now I feel like I appreciate him so much more now. And I'm really sad that I didn't have that as much when I was a young kid because I was just a kid and I didn't understand. I'm like, that's just dad's job. And he got a promotion basically. Like that's super
yeah. When you think about it,
yeah.
But like now I get very emotional about it because I'm just like, I didn't know how much, like I always knew he was hurting when he came home because he was just like, his body had just been put through the ringer because the WWE schedule is unlike any other schedule. And then also he put himself through, like he did the 90s rock and roll drugs and everything. He did the whole thing. He lived hard. So I don't know. I just looking back on it now, I wish I could express how I feel now like back then. So
I got a question. I remember his feud with JBL, right? One of the most underrated feuds ever. Because JBL, like he allowed. That's when, honestly, back in the day, wrestling, a heel could be a heel. Really heel. There was no, oh my gosh, what would you do that for? Blah, 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 blah. Reason why I brought that up, because I remember, how did the family reacted with the whole interaction with your grandmother, correct?
Yes, my grandma. Oh my God.
How was she like, how was the conversation of putting her into the storyline? Please walk me through that, because that was like, I believe that. I said, yo, JBL, I hate you. I want you to burn. You don't do that to Mama Guerrero. You don't do that.
It's like a funny story, kind of. It's also like legit. So like dad and JBL, like JBL was like a good heel before it was cool to be a heel, you know, just downright shit heel. And so like I love, and like dad and JBL loved each other. Like they were very like close, and like it's obviously wonderful when like two people that are opponents like actually do share that respect for each other, because then you create magic. But they were very transparent with us, like, listen, this is exactly what's gonna happen. JBL's gonna come in, he's gonna be mean to daddy, he's gonna grab Wita, it's gonna be okay. We call her Wita. And so like it's gonna be okay. And I remember when we were in the ring and we were watching JBL do his thing and watching dad do his thing, we were like, oh, drama, whoa. And then when he did grab Wita, and like she was like, and she actually started shaking and was like, hi, and we were like, God damn, Wita is good. We were like, okay, Wita should have been a luchadora, goddamn. But like it was that she was actually having a heart attack. Like she was actually like so like she just got caught up, y'all. Like she got caught up and
wait, what?
She legit was like having palpitations, and like we were like, oh damn. And we didn't know until we were going up the ramp and escaping from the whole thing and finishing up the segment that we were like, no, legit, we need to go to the hospital right now. And we were like, oh, are we just doing the thing? And it was like, no, we're going to the hospital. Yeah, and like
she was okay after, right? She was, right?
Oh, she was okay.
Oh, wow.
She's still an independent lady. She's still like kicking ass, and she's like the head honcho at her nursing home. But like,
as she should.
Yeah, so she's a guerrero, you know. It just happens. But No, like, and it ended up being fine, but JBL had to get like a police escort out of the building because people wanted to hurt him. Like he was in danger.
That's real deal stuff.
Okay.
Real heat.
Intense.
So your dad had, in my opinion, like my brother spoke about, Eddie was like his Joker to his Batman. And who would you want to have like one of those intense feuds? I don't care what part of the world they're from. Give me even a guy, because things are changing in the industry now. That
especially
you would
in the indies too.
Like you want to have a feud with. Just throw a name out there. Like you want to have like that bloodbath. Not like Eddie, but like you know what I mean.
Classic.
No, Dad bled hard. I know. I was always like, what was up with him? Like, God, he really bled a lot. But God, that is like so hard. That's like asking in like my favorite song or something. Honestly, there's like a handful of people.
So name them.
Drop them. Dream matches.
Okay. I've always wanted to wrestle Jessica Havoc. I've wanted to do the David and
Oh.
I would love her to smack me around, y'all. I would bleed for that girl. Like I love her.
Yeah, where was this a year ago? We could have probably made that happen.
Facts. Before I'm gonna do a quick plug. Next year, 2021. Be on the lookout for Battle Club Pro.
Ooh. Okay.
That's the home promotion here in New York. One of the biggest promotions in the Northeast. Also, I'm gonna plug something else in because that's family too.
Of
course. HOG. Ever heard of House of Glory?
No, but I got it now. What's that?
The head trainer there is Amazing Red
School
here
in New York,
and that's the school that I'm in actually. But keep your eye out for in case we toss an invite for you for Battle Club Pro next year.
There, done.
We're not playing around.
Remember you said Jessica House? Like, yo, we could have definitely made that happen.
Because she did a show in January.
Show,
right?
yeah, and she wrestled with that show with Nick Gage was at.
My God.
Yeah.
That was killed each other.
Okay, so Jessica Havoc. Okay, she's on.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to
I
toss that in there.
I would absolutely love to work with you guys more.
Joaquin Morales is amazing. He's the owner of Battle Club.
Shout out to Joaquin.
All right, well, I'm available.
There you go. Okay, so Jessica Havoc. Who else? The dream match.
Okay, Jessica Havoc. I feel like sad saying this, but like I really wanted to wrestle Kylie Ray. And obviously she's gone into retirement now, and like mental health first and foremost. I know that
most important.
Absolutely. And so, but that doesn't take away that she's badass. Absolutely would love to wrestle her. Let's see. I would love to wrestle Nyla Rose, obviously.
Ooh.
Wait, even her being managed by your mama?
That's a great storyline.
Come on.
That's a great
Get
storyline.
my mama away from me, dog.
That's a great storyline,
man.
Let's work that in there. Mama, do you love me or do you love Nyla?
You gotta choose.
You gotta choose. Oh, that's the place in the match. Vicky Guerrero in a pole match.
First of all, no.
I got like a different visual. I was like,
yeah, like I did too, and I was like, I don't definitely think your mama's gonna be on a pole.
What was the match with the person in the cage?
It was. I think it was Judy Bagwell.
Judy Bagwell
on the forklift.
Yeah.
So we can do that. Vicky Guerrero on the forklift.
No, we're not.
WCW days.
No.
We'll put her on some kind of apparatus. I don't know what it will be, but whatever it will be, she will work it. Whether it's a pole, a cage, or whatever we want to put her on, Mama will look good in it.
There
you go.
Okay, so Nyla Rose, that's okay, but that's definitely doable, guys. I think that
can happen tomorrow.
Listen,
never know.
If that came on Dynamite next week, I would be like, guys, we spoke that into a whole existence.
I'd be like, tricked you, but like, no, but I don't know. You never know. You never know in wrestling. That's like never say never, But
so here comes another question: would you ever let your mother manage you?
Duh.
I don't know.
She's gonna be the best hype man for her ever. Like
she's Vicky Guerrero. She's the best manager. Like, I mean, oh my God. But like I think it would be an interesting dynamic. Absolutely. Because we're both very headstrong.
Yo, it would be great because
he's about to do a book.
So y'all, I'm already gonna book how they're gonna break up. So
go ahead, book them, man.
How are you gonna book the ending?
The ending, because it's obvious how they're gonna get together. They're related. But the ending of it should be like you're just tired of being under her shadow type of thing. Like you're just tired of it. Like, because Vicky Loki's a legend on her own merit. Like, and like you just get tired of it, and then you turn on her, right? and then you bring Nyla back in the storyline.
Oh,
Lord.
I'm just saying, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do.
Just like the.
Yeah, this is what we deal with all the time. Do you feel like you take more after your mom or your dad?
Good question, Janelle.
It's weird. Like, so mainly my dad, and my mom lets me know often. I have terrible posture like him. I hunch around, and I'm very extreme. My dad had a very extreme personality. He was like hot or cold, man, hot or cold. He was like a hothead. I'm a hothead. But like we were hotheads, but at the same time, we're the first person to apologize to you if like we know like, oh man, did I rub them wrong? Oh man, did I say that weird shit? Okay, let me go apologize. So like we're intense people. We're also introverts actually, like unless like I'm like doing something like this, I'm kind of in the back like observing people. And so I do take after my dad, and I think physically as well, because my sister is my mother's mini me actually.
So what's your favorite wrestling hold?
My favorite wrestling hold?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me. So
Yeah.
we ask.
That was a
I
real
have to
question.
probably go with the camel clutch. Not a lot of people know.
Yes.
My grandfather Gory invented it.
No.
Really?
What?
Damn.
No, but I love the camel.
Get it, Gory?
Yes.
I love the camel clutch because you can go into pins in it, and it's actually a lot more uncomfortable than people think.
Wow.
No, it actually looks very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Outside of, I feel like we should have started with this question. Outside of your dad, clearly, favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the top, but we're just gonna work this way in now.
Oh man!
Don't add travel there. Don't add
Oh
travel.
yeah, any person with the last name Guerrero should not.
No.
They're already a given. So
Without-
that actually takes out, but that takes out like 20 people. Like period. Like her lineage is wild because yeah, you got her uncles, the cousins, everybody. So outside of the Guerrero family, favorite wrestlers of all time.
Okay, I'll if it's okay, I'll give you a handful because I can't pick just.
No.
Like,
Okay.
you do like top 5. You have a 6-man because sometimes we do a bonus one. So go ahead, just name them.
Kurt Angle is a big one for me. Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, obviously. God, it's like so hard because it's like, am I choosing them off their wrestling ability, off their promo work kind of thing? As far as women, Serena Deeb, I'm kind of like a big mark for Serena Deeb. I love, but then I'm getting into like people I fangirl over, like Shotzi Blackheart. I love Shotzi, but we're talking about the best wrestlers of all time. I'm sorry. I mean,
No,
like,
but
she's
Shotzi
still in the business.
But even I don't know if you watched NXT last night, but Shotzi, she gave me a performance when what's her face ran over her truck, her tank. I said, I felt that. Like she was just so
It got
in the
real.
ring. Yeah. And then Mikey was like, why is she so upset over her tank? I said, because it's her tank.
Thank
like
you. Principles.
Like she goes around everywhere with that.
It's like her baby. It's her baby.
Exactly.
Thank you. It's like for example, like if Mrblacc, somebody takes my weed, I'm killing you.
Oh, I don't think that's
okay.
equal.
So a viewer did ask a question. He asked, "What does she think about Montez Ford's frog splash?"
Facts. What you think of that?
If you've seen it,
I'm not familiar. I will just be very honest. There is a lot of wrestling out there. Thank God. There is so many brands and so many people. It's like I am not super familiar with it. But anybody that decides to brave the top rope and do a splash, which it's hard on the body, I commend it for sure. I'm working on my own frog splash right now, which is
you are?
Okay. Speaking of the battle of the frog splash,
I don't get excited, but for special occasions.
Okay. I gotta ask this.
Valid.
Who you think had a better frog splash? RVD or your pops?
Oh, your dad.
Bro, come on.
That's mad disrespectful. That's mad disrespectful. No, that's
a valid question.
It's not a valid question at all. It is not a valid question at all.
Like Art Barr was the one that did the frog splash my dad started doing it after Art Barr passed.
Yes.
Because they were tag team partners and really like best friends. Art Barr had the froggiest frog splash ever. Like he looked like a freaking frog. And so my dad was a little bit more narrow on his frog splash than Art was, but come on, my dad.
No, but I feel your dad's, I feel like, was way more crisp when he did.
Yes, because that's why it's better. But
RVD
RVD,
he had a splash damage
come on.
He was, oh my god.
Shaul, I'm sorry for this ignorance on the podcast right now.
Don't do that.
I apologize because we will not disrespect Eddie Guerrero on the side. We will not compare his frog splash to RVD. It was RVD's one was cute. No, ladies and gentlemen, RVD frog splash was cute. But Eddie was Eddie's frog splash.
Is classic.
It's classic, and that's the reason why it's classic.
Fine.
Let's leave it alone.
Okay,
You know what? Eddie's like Selena. We don't talk bad about her.
Exactly.
I apologize.
We don't
I'm sorry, Shaul. I'm sorry. We will move on. We will move on.
But speaking about people that are inspired by your dad, have you ever had a conversation with Sasha Banks, because she's vocally spoken so highly of your dad, how inspirational he was to her in her upbringing in the business? Have you ever had a conversation with her, because she's done like ring gear inspired by him and things like that, her entrances inspired by him? So have you ever like had a one-on-one conversation with her about that?
Absolutely. Sasha and I have had the conversations. I actually gave her one of my dad's tights and whatnot as a gift, just because I saw just how much he meant to her and how much influence he was on her. So I know she cherishes those. But like, absolutely. And honestly, like, there was a little part of me when I wasn't wrestling that was like jealous, because I was like, man, like, I wish I could represent my dad the way she does. And and so I would love to have a match with her one day where we can explore the depths of that a little bit while still paying homage to him, because we obviously both admire and respect him as a wrestler. And then me in a different way, obviously, because he's my father.
That story right there, boy. Come on.
I'm probably emotional for both of us, but
because I feel like every time she talks, it's almost like she talks about your dad like she knew him, like she literally, like, almost like y'all were next door neighbors kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of energy she gives off. But I know it's because, like, when you're inspired by someone, you kind of embody everything that they've brought to the table and what they've done for the business. And literally, I mean, I can 100% agree with when Sasha always talks about your dad, like, that's what he gave everything he had to the business.
Quick question. Your dad left a legacy. We talked about what you want to do in the business, and this is going to sound very morbid. I apologize in advance. But when you leave officially, like when you hang up those boots, what do you want to be remembered as? What do you want your legacy to be? Because you're creating your own thing. We talked about that earlier. Like, what do you kind of strive for when people say Shaul Guerrero? Like, what do you want them to think about? Sorry if I went a little too deep on that.
No. I'm just like, so, because I've answered this question in a way before, and I think obviously the world knows my dad as the wrestler and what he gave, and I forever love that he taught me the same thing of, like, no matter what you do, you give 110%. That's the Guerrero moniker. We just give everything. And so I think what, like, as a wrestler, or because, like, as a, like, whether I wrestle and win like so many championships, or if I just bite it big and I shit the bed, like, I want to be remembered as a good person that stands up for other people and that like gives of herself, like, in friendship, in love, and as an athlete, as an opponent. And so I want to have that legacy, which is so much more important. Not that my dad's wrestling legacy isn't important, but, like, people, like, that's not what people think of that knew him, that remember him by. They remember how funny he was, how much he gave, and how generous he was to people. And, like, that's, at the end of the day, if, like, the wrestling community, like, felt anywhere near how they felt about my dad with getting to work with him, I would be honored. And so I just want to be a good person, and I want to be authentic with people and give somebody, and if I could, like, make somebody feel like they could get through their eating disorder or their demon and show, like, they can come out better and happy, then I'm happy. That's it. It doesn't matter if I have a championship or not, or if I never win a championship, so long as I can be like a beacon of hope for people. though.
Nah, we needed that. Thank you.
No, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. That was a tall order. Well, I got a couple more years before I can, or I got to do all that. But like,
I mean, listen, you're already doing it.
I think
you're already doing it.
I think when you get to that place of accepting and loving you, then that's kind of which that's always it's a work in progress. So I feel like when you kind of are in that space, which it looks like you are, then you're so authentic not only to yourself but to everyone else around you. So that alone, girl, don't think they're different.
No, thank you. It's hard for everybody. It really it's like oh, just love yourself. It's like it's hard, like because we're all just trying to do our best and sometimes we fall short. And so, but yeah, thank you guys.
No, thank you.
No.
I feel like that's. I don't know where else to go from there.
Okay. Turkey bacon or regular bacon?
Is it cheat day?
Yeah, it's cheat day.
Yeah.
It's cheat day.
Oh, bacon. Like let's do like the thick cut like on my burger with an egg on top.
That's your burger.
Yeah, that's
the
your
bar.
burger.
Is that your burger?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have we do pay-per-view viewing parties for like WWE and AEW. So at the bar Legends Bar, cheat code.
Cheap plug.
My burger is called the Sir Wilkins burger. So it has an egg, bacon, a burger, and then I think the new one might have chili on it. Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
okay,
a
I
hard
know what
time
I'm
to
ordering.
but it's delicious.
Oh, I have one. Favorite restaurant in Chicago?
Oh my God, Sunwa. Sunwa is in. Okay, let me tell you about this. Okay, because when you guys come to Chicago, like you're gonna come out to eat with me, and we're gonna get you this thing. Okay, so Sunwa is this place in Uptown Chicago, and
next week.
I'm not kidding you. $40 gets you an entire duck dinner. It's a whole duck that they carve in front of you, and they put they give you little bao buns, and like you make buns, and then they take like the meat that you don't like have in front of you. They take like I don't know what it's called, but like the meat that you don't really use, and they make fried rice with it, and then they make you a soup with it, and it's for $40, and it feeds like 5 people, and it's
gonna feed me by myself.
Yeah, no, he could definitely. We got to order 2 of them because
we can order 2.
He's a garbage disposal. Don't let the muscles and his physique fool you. He's a garbage disposal, so he'll have to eat that on his own. But the rest of us will share.
No, it depends when we're doing it. I'm trying to cut. I'm trying to look like Aiden, but the black version because Aiden's mad cut up, son.
Y'all let me know when you're in Chicago because
we'll do. I've been dying to go back. Once again, I have friends up there.
Want to go next week though?
We'll talk about
we have
that.
flight credits.
We do have flight credits. Yo, I got flight credits out the ass right now. It's ridiculous. Chicago pizza or New York pizza?
Make the right decision.
Right. I didn't want to do that. I was like, right. You said it.
Okay, well, like I can't make that decision because I've never had authentic New York pizza.
So when you come out here, I got a couple spots.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you guys got me because I got you when you come to Chicago.
No, we're dead serious. We're dead serious.
Say less. It's like we got definitely because my first time when I went there, of course everybody goes to Giordano's, so that's always like the go-to thing. The first time when I went, I had deep dish. I went to Giordano's, and I still was like, New York pizza's better.
You know what it is? Because I've been to Chicago and I went to the same spot.
Yeah.
And for me,
you gotta have the taste for that deep dish.
Like, it's a meal. Like, so we grew up on like a thin, couple of things. You pop it in, you grab like three slices, maybe 4. But it's a whole different vibe. It's literally Chicago pizza.
No, like when
it's a casserole.
When I had deep dish, I maybe got through maybe 1 slice.
I got through half.
Because what they'll do is they'll okie dokie you and recommend appetizers because they know the pizza takes an hour long. What pizza takes an hour long? The fuck? So you heavy on the apps, and then by the time the pizza comes, you're like, I'm already. I don't want no more.
Like so, and like New York pizza is kind of like the pizza you can fold in half, right? And
yeah.
See, like I feel like I'm gonna like that a little better. Just because like I like thin crust pizza or like pizza where I can have multiple slices. Whereas like you're absolutely like with Giordano's or Lou Malnati's here. I like Lou Malnati's. Like it's one and done because it's a pizza cake. It's huge. It's like it's deep dish. Like I don't know got room for
Is your husband from Chicago originally?
He is. That's why we're here. That's why
that's what I was wondering. I was like, well, how'd you get there?
No,
but
I grew up in the desert. Like, this is not okay how cold it is right now. Not okay. How cold it is.
Let him know.
I did. I told him, I was like, you understand how much I love you, right? But like,
love is real.
Because that Chicago wind, like the Windy City is that's no joke. Like, December, January in Chicago is like ice spots.
It's awful. Yeah. I think especially when it's still cold in like March, like March and April, then you're over it. You're really over it.
But then summertime there is like hot. Like when I went but it's like hot. Like I went, the first time I went after like years was when I went for Money in the Bank when it was in Chicago, and that was like maybe 2-3 years ago. It was literally 100 degrees every day I was in Chicago. Hot.
The summers are nice though.
It's hot as fuck.
Well, I'd rather heat than the cold.
If you guys could move anywhere, where would you want to move to?
Honestly, like Chicago has grown on me a lot because like not only do I have my wrestling community here, but I have my Vaudettes community and I love them so much. And so I'm getting used to the cold as much as I don't want to say it. The only other place I would see us moving would maybe be El Paso, Texas, back to where I'm from. But the thing, I love El Paso. I like dearly love it. But like, as far as opportunity goes for dance, for wrestling, like it's limited.
Yeah.
So I do really enjoy Chicago, especially because there's always something to do here. Maybe we'd go back to Florida, but Florida is a hot mess in a lot of different ways. So I don't know.
Yeah, we know.
We're still trying to figure that out.
We all know. We're all like, But
would you ever open a dance school?
I'm sorry,
would you ever open a dance school?
I thought about it. I'm like, what's your end game, kid? You can't dance and wrestle forever. But honestly, it would probably end up being a burlesque and pole studio. Probably, I would want to do like I want to find a form of dance that people. I love burlesque. I'm actually a professional burlesque performer, and it's extremely empowering. And so I would like to be able to make sure that everybody can access that and feel and have a safe place to be able to explore that, because it's a really daunting thing to do. It's like people have nightmares about being in public naked, and then like we're teaching you how to do it professionally.
Because that's not easy either.
That's amazing from having suffering from that eating disorder and now being so proud of like just doing
your
that
body and showing yourself. Being true to you, like
I don't think you give yourself enough credit, and we're not just saying it to say this.
No, at all.
Like you've really come a long way.
Thank you.
From you got a life.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any like when you lost your dad when you were a teenager. Those are the years, like those are the prime years you would want like both your parents and prom, and then when you got married, like those type of things are kind of hard. But just to kind of see how you deal with everything. Just kind of put a good face on and just power through all that stuff. Like that's
thank you.
That's we commend you on that. That's not easy, especially being
a journey for sure. And like I still have bad days. Believe me, I still have bad days. But thank you guys. I appreciate that. Like there've been a lot of people to help me, and my husband is huge in helping me. He really, really is. So
he's a real MVP. I told you, Adrian is a real MVP. B.
Oh, and also tell him that him on commentary was like the best thing they could have did when he was doing what was it, 205?
205 Live.
Woo! He made me watch it.
Thank you.
I gave up. When Enzo left, I gave up. But then they put him on commentary. I was like, oh, he's so good on commentary.
I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. He really took it and ran with it. And we don't know, like Matt's doing a lot of really cool stuff right now. He's actually in a whiskey competition. I don't know if y'all know, but he's like, he has like a whiskey YouTube channel and an Instagram, Wrestling with Whiskey. And he's in a big competition for Bardstown. He won the Chicago tasting competition. And so now he's gone off to like the national competition.
Yo, people don't understand like how amazing wrestlers are.
Yeah.
Like it's so multifaceted.
It's so multifaceted. Like we're talking to you and you're talking about your video game, your Twitch channel. You're a dancer, burlesque. You have your wrestling, and then you kind of borderline designing your own gear. Like it's like shout outs to wrestlers, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and I think that's one of the things that when we started our podcast, we were just like we wanted to be able to create a platform and create a space where everyone can love wrestling the same way we do, and just everybody has different, it's all jacks, every different taste, jacksable trades, like things like that. So it's really, really good to hear that there's always life after wrestling, and I think that's always the one thing that as fans we don't kind of get to see that side. So to being able to talk to you and even see your husband peek in for a little bit, there's always a life after the ring. So, and I think that's always good and it's good to hear. Any last questions before we do sadly farewell? I mean, we feel like we need to do this like once a month.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
I mean,
so therapeutic. I'm like, yeah, let's talk more.
Yeah, you really said a lot to us. Thank you for being open.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know some of the things are probably hard to say, and you were very honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably too honest.
No.
We love it.
That honestly is like what we always build any conversation that we have with anyone, whether it's off camera, on camera, is that we just want 100% honesty, because at the end of the day, it's your story. Like we don't ever want to say like, oh, she said this. No, we want to hear it from you, your personal experience, and let you have the floor, because that to us is everything. So we do definitely thank you for taking the time and talking to us.
Before you go, you have a match with Renee Michelle next month. It got
pushed. Yeah,
it got pushed.
It's so funny. We were all. That's why we were saying we got flight credits. We were actually planning on going to the show.
Oh,
but we're gonna talk about going for the new date for December 4th.
Please come.
See, now you're gonna maybe have to. All right.
We gotta do a shot after. It's my first match back in 6 years, y'all. We gotta do a shot after.
Okay.
Are we doing bourbon or some whiskey?
I like JMO.
Yes.
Yes. So quickly, I don't drink like that.
He only drinks his birthday and when Nia Jax wins.
I'm a huge Nia Jax fan.
You can't drink when Shaul Guerrero wins?
No, so we're gonna add that to the list.
But the thing is, I used to promote in nightlife in clubs. So I just didn't want to drink, but all the owners of the nightclubs I worked with them, they're super nice guys. Like in New York City, the Irish run the nightclubs, in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing these guys drank was Jameson. So the only thing I would ever drink, if I was ever going to drink, was Jameson.
Jameson looks good though.
So I am down to drink some Jameson with you guys.
All right,
when you get your match going.
Yeah,
but can you tell us a little bit more about the match, about everything, so we can kind of plug a little thing before we go?
Yeah. Besides that match, any other matches that may be upcoming or anything that you have in the work that you do want to plug real quick? Go right ahead, my love.
Absolutely. So I have my match with Renee Michelle, my first ever match, back after 6 years, and so we are competing for the GCW Women's Championship, and the first round bracket I am facing Renee Michelle. Renee and I have already exchanged some words. And apparently there will be multiple hot sauces brought to the ring to be able to slap that ass with. So I'm really looking forward, and like real talk, like to work with her. She's very talented, and I can't wait to grow after getting to experience a match with her. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But very excited for that. December 4th, GCW. If you guys are not in Tampa, Florida, then you can stream it on Title Match Network. I am also debuting for Zello Pro against Jamie Senegal on the 22nd of November. And I've just been announced for Flawless Wrestling in Tennessee for another tournament as well.
Oh, you get booked. Look at you.
I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to make them towns. I'm trying.
Nah. When New York opens, when we officially open, we want you up here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We
couldn't have it no other way.
Absolutely, you guys. I feel the same way. Like Chicago's kind of shutting down right now, so I'm like, okay, we might.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like they were saying, because the cases were going up, that like they started shutting the bars down again, and like I think maybe even like curfews or things like restaurants like dining in they cut off at like 9:30. Like it was wild. It's wild out there. I didn't believe it either until I got told that, because I was like, y'all should be all right, because we all right here. Like here in New York, like we just got indoor dining back like a month ago.
Yeah.
March. So like we've only been doing like takeout and pick up delivery stuff. So in-store dining just came back like maybe a month ago.
Yeah, y'all are just new right now getting into that.
Right, and stuff like that. Like we came back in the studio because when the city shut down, everything had shut down. So we started doing in studio like what was that? July? August?
It was August. It was August.
August.
We started
Yeah.
back
in August, yeah.
So we were doing StreamYard, like we were doing online stuff for all of the pandemic, and then we finally came back. So I mean, here it's been like slow, and so we're hopefully when the world decides to get its life together, we can all come together.
Safety first. Yes, absolutely.
But thank you. I think
thank you so much. Yes, plug all of your social media platforms so everyone can find you.
Absolutely. Before I do that, I wanted to also like tell all of you, thank you for creating a safe space to like share, talk wrestling, and like I just appreciate you guys feel like friends already, so I can't wait to hang out with you guys and meet you in person.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for your time, and even like going over time, we were like, oh, it'll be around 45 minutes, and we ended up talking. So
the whole show, like, because typically, we'll do an interview and then we'll like talk about this week in wrestling or things like that. But this to me was everything. So we really wrestling will be the same next week. It's fine.
I had the best time with you guys for real. So thank you. All right, you guys, you can find me on Instagram at Shaul Guerrero, as well as on Twitch at Shaul Guerrero, Pro Wrestling Tees at Shaul Guerrero. Twitter, you can find me at Guerrero_Shaul. And make sure you guys check me out on Twitch. I stream Monday through Wednesday from 10 a.m. Central Standard Time to around 1 o'clock. And we have fun playing Animal Crossing. So if you don't have your Switch yet, you can be able to watch Twitch and be able to,
we'll watch
vicariously. But yeah, make sure we that's basically all I've got for you guys. And also follow the Vaudettes, my dance group, because I make appearances with them, and we will be on Jericho Cruise in October 2021.
You go.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, this has been fun. This has been enlightening. It's so sad to go, but once again, thank you, my love, to Shaul Guerrero for joining us this week. You're always a part. We're gonna get the information. We're gonna send you a t-shirt. We gotta get you into the Jabba Tears family. So we gotta send you a shirt, girl. So we definitely will get that out to you as soon as possible. But thank you once again. Those that are in the tri-state area can join us this weekend, Saturday, for AEW's Full Gear viewing party, where Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley and the I Quit match, which everyone knows I hate I Quit matches, but whatever. But many more matches. So make sure to join us. You can RSVP at the Jabba Tears Podcast Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Once again, thank you from the bottom depths of our hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We can't wait to have a real life in person convo and everything. And we'll definitely take you up on that spot of JMO, okay?
I got y'all.
All right. Thank you so much. Until next week, guys, #Black Excellence, #we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans, you gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.